We've all been there, or at least we know someone who has. That sickening thud, that moment of dread when you realize your car has met your garage door a little too intimately. And whether it was distraction, rushing, or simple misjudgment, hitting your garage door with your car is surprisingly common. So if you are staring at a dent, bent, or even shattered garage door right now and wondering, what am I going to do next? Well, you're in the right place. Because in this video, we're going to cover some immediate steps that you can take to repairing or replacing your damaged garage door. Let's party. So this property had a garage door that was completely mangled, and basically it went through an accident and pretty much the door was shot. So the customer was pretty much going crazy because he didn't know what to do. And when you find yourself in a garage door accident, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind. First of all, your safety. You want to make sure that you and your family are safe. If the door is in the up position, there's no good way to put this. If you are not a professional and you don't know what you're doing, don't touch the door because it could fall on you. It could be a recipe for disaster. I highly recommend that you just call a professional. Number two, if your door is down, then you don't want to rush to make a decision to get another garage door. If the door is safely closed and it could look mangled like it did at this property, just take your time to make a good decision. I know that sometimes we worry about access into our garage and perhaps maybe looky-loos or people that are trying to maybe do something malicious, and maybe we want to make sure that our garage is secure. Trust me, no one's going to be able to open it up from the outside. It's going to take them a tremendous amount of force just to get through the door that's already broken. So I would not rush to make a decision. The long and the short is that we were able to help them find a good garage door system with a brand new garage door opener. And now yeah, that's a lot better. So the example in this video clearly demonstrates how severe a car versus garage door accident could be. And there's no doubt that what we've shown you is simply just one example of many. Now, granted, you will be able to salvage some garage doors that have been hit by a car. So the first thing you want to do is to be able to determine the lay of the land. That is, you want to be able to understand to what degree the car has dented or damaged the garage door. In some cases, repairing the garage door is a simple step. For example, you can apply garage door struts to support the bent panels or the bent sections. But this is something that is probably going to be temporary when you're thinking about the use of the garage door throughout the years. Another thing that you can do is simply replace the damaged garage door sections. Now, I do recommend that for some specific garage doors, and there was a circumstance, or I should say a customer that we did help that found himself in that same situation where his car hit the bottom sections. We got 2 sections replaced for him, and he was good to go. Nevertheless, that is not everyone's circumstance. So I just want to paint the picture, the reality that some garage doors can be repaired. And repairing those garage doors could be the best cost option that you could find right now, because clearly replacing the entire garage door system, well, yeah, that's going to cost a lot more. Now, in some cases, it could be that the garage door is simply fine and that it was bumped to the degree where it's come off of the garage door tracks. And that's kind of like your best case scenario. Whenever your car hits the garage door and it's come off the tracks, well, basically you can reset the door onto the track assembly. You can balance out the door. You can reset the cables. And you're in a lot better position than most if you have that type of circumstance with the garage door accident when it's your car versus the garage door. Of course, when you think about the tracks, sometimes those tracks can be bent. And I do want to be very clear here that even though you can make these repairs and you can reset the garage door onto the track assembly, it doesn't necessarily mean that the garage door itself has gone away scot-free. It's still going to suffer, or I should say it will have an after effect. Some consequences will manifest to the garage door system. I have seen that with bent tracks, when you try and straighten them out, they're just never the same. It's like a broken arm or a broken leg. Once you break your arm or your leg, and even though you cast it up and it heals, it's never really the same. It's kind of like the same mentality, the same metaphor, for lack of a better expression. But I do digress, because thinking about how resetting a garage door that's come off the track is kind of like your best case scenario. And it shouldn't be too hard to do. In most cases, some DIYers will tackle a job like that. They'll basically reset the garage door, and they'll be able to reset the cables to get the garage door up and down. In these circumstances, I would say, sure, more power to you. You can definitely do that repair. But in most cases, and I would say when it comes to the more severe damage, it's best to reach out to a contractor. So that way they can assess the safety of your garage door system to make sure you don't have future problems. Now, I have seen on a number of occasions where a garage door accident from a vehicle has even affected or damaged the garage door opener motor. And what's interesting about that is that will usually affect, for example, like the rail assembly. Like the rail itself could be bent, the rail could be damaged, sometimes bent in two pieces. I've seen it all. And I don't necessarily feel that is a common occurrence, but it has and can happen. In that case, what you could do is simply replace the rail assembly, hoping that the actual operator, the motor head, has not suffered much damage. Or you can just go with a brand new opener. For example, whenever you replace a garage door that has severe damage, it's almost best to just go ahead and replace a new garage door opener with it, knowing and realizing that you're going to have a complete warranty. It's going to come completely new with a complete operator system, and you're just not having to worry about piecing out, or I should say, making extra costs later down the road. You just fix the garage door, and then later on you fix the opener. Why not get it all done once and for all? That is at the initial point of service or the scope of work. I know that's easy for me to say. I'm a garage door contractor. Of course, I'm going to recommend that. Nevertheless, there are benefits to the safety of the home, the safety of the family, making sure that the garage door itself is going to operate properly. You want to think about the trade-offs. You want to think about, what would you rather do? Would you rather spend a little bit of money now, knowing you're going to spend a lot later, probably with a new door system, or the right amount of money now and spend nothing later, knowing you're going to have a warranty, knowing you're going to have a new system, new remotes? I mean, again, those are just trade-offs and decisions that you would need to make if you do find yourself in this situation. Now, when it comes to the cost of these repairs, you're probably thinking, what are my options? And one of the first things that I would probably pursue is your homeowner's insurance, perhaps maybe a home warranty. Read the fine print, find out what exactly your coverage stipulates or defines when it comes to that declaration page. In some cases, the homeowner's insurance will assume a lot of the responsibility, especially if you have good homeowner's insurance due to an accident. Of course, that's far and few, and I don't know many home insurances that will go that far. So again, just pursue that if you see that your cost is really going to be astronomical. In the example that we provided about a garage door coming off the track, well, you're not going to spend thousands of dollars for that type of repair. You'll probably spend a couple of hundred, maybe up to $500. It really depends on the type of damage that the door has suffered from the vehicle. And in most cases, when I think about resetting a garage door system, it practically makes the garage door act like new, especially if you're replacing like rollers, applying struts, new cables, even just applying new springs. That's going to make a world of difference for your garage door system. Now, when it comes to sections or replacing garage door sections, yeah, expect to spend probably over $1,000 with parts and labor. And of course, if you're already at that halfway point, for example, if you're spending anywhere from $1,500 to almost $2,000 for garage door sections, well, it's really not going to be that much more to go with a brand new garage door. So at that point, again, trade-offs, weigh the costs. What will it cost to get you a new garage door system versus just replacing sections still with an old opener, old tracks, probably even the old springs? Yeah, I would probably lean my customer towards this way. Again, not everyone's in those circumstances, but what's your best bang for your buck? think in those terms as opposed to just the low-hanging fruit or what you're going to be able to do today. Now, granted, I know so many people who think like, you know what, I just got to get this repaired. I'm selling the home. I'm moving. And, whatever the case is, I'm not going to be here forever. That makes sense. Just spend the least amount of money there. But if you're going to stay forever in that home, or if that's going to be your home where you're going to be there for a long time and your family's safety is a priority for you, then yeah, go with the new garage door system. I think that's probably the better way to go. Now, perhaps you're watching this video and you're thinking like, oh, I haven't gotten to this point yet, but what are some preventative things that I could do to make sure that my garage door doesn't suffer an accident like this from my vehicle? Well, there are a number of things. First of all, what I would like to highlight is do your best. Do your best to be aware of your surroundings whenever you're moving in and out of your garage. I tend to see that these garage door accidents happen mainly when the family's in a rush, someone is distracted, we're on our phone, we think that we've pressed the garage door remote and the door is opened all the way up, but that's just not the case. There's just so many variables that happen quite often, and they affect every walk of life, every home. I mean, there's no culture that I would say that is not affected by this. And it's interesting to see that they all have the same similar circumstances where someone is just not paying attention. They don't see that the garage door has gone all the way up or it's closed all the way down, and they have a situation like this. So that's the first thing that I would do when it comes to prevention. The second pro tip that's beneficial when preventing your garage door being hit by your vehicle is regular maintenance. And that's basically going to be the balance of the garage door, ensuring that there's no obstructions to the garage door, ensuring that the garage door operator is operating normal. You want to make sure that your springs are operating, or in other words, that your springs are not broken. You can also detect if your springs are old and if they're binding by doing a regular balance check. There are a number of things that you can do with prevention. Lubrication is going to be key. Replacing your rollers will also help. By extension, I would also encourage that you do your best to keep garden tools, to keep shovels, pipes. I don't know. I see a number of poles of things, items next to the garage door tracks. That's just a recipe for a disaster, and especially here in Southern California. So in Southern California, we have a volatile ground. That is, we have earthquakes, tremors, and things like that. Sometimes just things move in the garage. And so these items that are stored in the corner can get lodged into the track assembly. And whenever that happens, and when a door is trying to close especially, and you've got a broomstick or you've got some sort of maybe a bicycle, maybe just something within the track assembly that's too close, and it closes on it, that's when you're going to have those types of accidents. Now, granted, I know that's not a car accident per se, but still, it's a factor that could contribute, like a domino effect, where your vehicle could hit the door just because it didn't close or open right. Last but not least, you want to check your safety sensors. Now, garage door safety sensors are regulated by law. That is, the law requires that the garage door safety sensors be placed about 6 inches off of the ground near the garage door tracks. And what garage door sensors are designed to do is they're basically designed to detect when something or someone is passing through the infrared beam of those sensors. Now, we can think of a number of scenarios where those sensors are applied, and yet vehicles still hit garage doors on a daily basis. So if you think about that, well, yeah, you can do your best to check your sensors, but the reality is that you're still prone to those vehicular accidents hitting your garage door, and it's just because those sensors are fundamentally flawed. That's why for us, that is SOS Garage Door Service, we recommend Infinity Shield. Now, Infinity Shield is a superior garage door safety sensor system. These types of sensors are able to detect high-profile vehicles, trailer hitches, hatchbacks. Basically, there's nothing that this safety sensor system cannot detect whenever your garage door is closing. And the reason why that is so impressive is because whenever I see garage door accidents due to a car, I think, man, this family could have benefited from Infinity Shield. And when it comes to the safety of your family, yeah, I think that's the priority. I think for me, whenever I think about how Infinity Shield can protect my family, not just my property, but those that I care for, my loved ones, Well, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Infinity Shield is definitely the way to go. It's on my garage door system, and I do install it for my customers. So if you're interested about the Infinity Shield product, check the link down below. But thinking in terms of what you could do now to prevent this type of accident is just do your best to check your surroundings and safely go in and out of the garage. You want to service or maintain your garage door. Now, maintaining and servicing is something that I think anyone can do by simply applying proper lubrication, by checking the door balance. In fact, we have a free digital resource, our free garage door safety scorecard, which you can also download in this video. And that'll just give you like a 22-point safety inspection, so that way you can make your own assessment on your garage door performance. And of course, last but not least, just ensuring that your garage door safety sensors are working properly. And if you want a superior solution, then definitely the Infinity Shield product is there to consider. Now, of course, we also want to reach out to the community. If you have suffered a garage door accident due to your vehicle, please chime down below. Let us know what that experience was like. Was it something that, happened at a moment that you just didn't realize? Share your stories. We want to be able to hear from you. And of course, we want to hear from the dealer community. What have you dealers have found within your service area when it comes to garage door accidents due to a car accident? And so we would love to hear your stories as well. Of course, on this channel, we have a number of videos that go into garage door safety, garage door maintenance, garage door repairs, and of course, safety sensors. So check out this video right here. As always, I want to thank y'all for partying with me. Y'all stay safe.